Hi, everyone who joined us. We will start with some small introduction and then we will go to the speech. So if someone will join us, if they have time. Thank you for joining our dynamic talks by Grid Dynamics. We are very glad to see you here. We are ready to start, and this is Dynamic Talk, our 99 one with Andriy Zagoskin, our project manager. The topic is Intro into Composable Commerce and MACH technologies. But firstly, I want to introduce our company, why we are experts in it, why we want to provide you this information. So shortly about our company. About Grid Dynamics, we are a leading provider of technology consulting, engineering, and data science services for Fortune 500 corporations from financial, technological, and retail sectors. It has been operating since 2006 with the headquarters in California and has development centers in the United States, Eastern and Central Europe. As for today, Grid Dynamics bring together more than 4,000 engineers in 13 countries, and we continue steadily growing. Also, we are a member of MACH certificated alliance, so that's why we are speaking about this topic today. And also here is our list of our clients, and Grid Dynamics is Nasdaq listed public technology services company with core expertise in big data, data science, machine learning, and AI. Also DevOps and cloud enablement. So if you want to find some career opportunities, you can check this QR code. And now I will introduce you some rules about questions. During the talk, you can ask questions via Zoom chat. And after the report, the speaker will answer them. Please note that the questions will be seen by all participants of the meetup. Or you can use your microphone, but when we will have a Q&A session, please be muted during the talk just to not interrupt our speaker. So I think that's all. Thank you for joining again. I think we will start. Andriy, your microphone is yours. I'm stopping sharing.
Okay, so hello everybody. Excited to welcome you to my public talk about digital commerce and actually digital commerce transformation. And the subtopic here is Intro into Composable Commerce and MACH technologies. So the key word here is it's intro. So given that we have like half an hour, a little bit more than that, we won't be able to go deep. And so actually my idea is to give you more breadth than depth here. So it's going to be overview of things related to composable commerce and MACH technologies. So about myself, I have 14 years of experience in information technologies, and most of these years I spent with Grid Dynamics. I've been focusing on developing a Grid Dynamics starter kit for composable commerce since the beginning of last year. Here's my agenda that I would like to offer for today. So I would like to talk about composable commerce buzz, that section about like the buzzwords and like the common things you can read in like marketing over the internet about composable commerce. So that's like a necessary introduction in our case. And then we'll explore package business capabilities. What is that? And then I will show you a sample application, but I'm not going to show you a live demo. I prepared a bunch of screenshots of our sample application that will give me opportunity to kind of show you some interesting points and highlights and make it more quicker for the sake of time. So also I want to show you a glimpse of on SaaS user interface consoles that package business capability providers offer. And then we'll talk a little bit about developer experience related to working with these technologies. And we'll end with some questions and answers session. So that was actually my initial idea for the agenda, but looking at it, I was thinking that it's not like conveying my idea and conveying the structure. So I came up with some better names of the sections of my presentations. So instead of composable commerce buzz, that's going to be called Worldview Perspective. So first we'll just kind of position this in the world of technologies, where is that and what it is about, yeah. Then what's called package business capabilities is, we can also call it like business owner perspective. So those who pay money, so they need certain capabilities, and yeah, what is there on the market for them. Sample application is actually a shopper perspective, like just a person who wants to buy something online. It's like a classical business to customer application. So, and we will see how those technologies work together in harmony to provide those experiences. SaaS user interface consoles is actually a merchant perspective, like day-to-day operations of people who run those e-commerce shops, what they use to kind of update and manipulate the experiences of the customers. Developer experience, well, for the sake of consistency, let's call it developer perspective. And Q&A is going to be Q&A. Let's get to it. So worldview perspective. The first, like a big quote to start with, and to explain why the things I'm talking about here can be considered hot. So they're still in high demand in information technologies and business. And yeah, that is why. So industry analysts, for example, like Gartner, they say that by year 2026, the speed of digital innovation will improve by 60% relative to last year for organizations that have established mechanism to reuse composable digital commerce modules. So in Grid Dynamics, we're observing like the demand among our customers to actually re-platform their commerce platforms to use these new technologies. Here, a little bit of history and evolution of e-commerce platforms. Yeah, so this is something that you can find like many versions of this image, of this idea, like from monolith to composable MACH. Just Google monolith to composable and you will see different options of like images on this topic. So here's our version. Usually there's only monolith and composable and there's nothing in between. So I will explain short what this headless monolith in between is about. So few words about monolith. Those are old legacy platforms, tightly coupled, usually. So some of them like built in early 2000s, like very slow to change something. They usually, those like customers who are running them, yeah, they're releasing like once a month. It's like big bang release, or like they have to host this themselves, yeah, host that software themselves. They have to care about software updates. So once the vendor of that monolith platform updates it, you like it's a big problem to actually install the update. So there are lots of problems with that old approach and lots of reasons why companies are moving away from it. So one of them, so lack of ability to innovate, higher costs, and less and less developer who want to actually work with legacy code. And yeah, so the time is moving on and new technologies are coming in. So by headless monoliths, so those technologies are still trying to be in the market. So they are kind of trying to pretend they are like cool and headless, and they pretend to be new technologies. So that's kind of fake composable. So they can say, okay, you can have like different front ends with us, but underneath that's still like monolithic technology, tightly coupled, and not cloud native, everything like opposite from new world. So, and on the right, the composable MACH. So what is composable, what is MACH? Those two words are often go together. Simply put it, composable is just like a business friendly term, and it's actually, there's a bit more to it. So composable is the approach of building software, but usually it's based on MACH technology. So MACH is abbreviation that is based on technical terms, which are less familiar for business people, so to say. So that's how composable came to be as a second term in this whole story. So what is MACH? Let's discuss that. MACH is actually composable technology. Yeah. So and it stands for microservices, API first, cloud native SaaS, and headless. And again, as with the previous slide about monoliths, you can find like tons of information on what it is and multiple explanations on what this abbreviation means. I found it like that actual MACH Alliance has the best and the simplest explanation of each letter in this abbreviation. So microservices is actually about individual pieces of business functionality that are independently developed, deployed, and managed. API first, it's the term that means that all functionality is exposed through an API. All functionality. It means that API is a first-class citizen, and if you have some UI, it's going to be probably less functional than original API product. SaaS, cloud native SaaS, yeah? So it means that it's the software that leverages the cloud with all its power beyond just the storage and hosting, including elastic scaling and automatic updating. So it's a big thing, especially in the commerce world. Elastic scaling for Black Friday, where like the companies sometimes make like 25% of their yearly revenue just across like through one weekend of sales. So they need a lot of resources, and that's where this scaling and cloud shines actually. Yeah. So with cloud native products, companies can get this capability natively. Yeah. And automatical updating, so you don't need to care anymore about software updates yourself. It's not a problem because updates are continuous, and this is actually abstracted from you with API. So those companies are usually trying to, so they're designing their products with proper abstractions so that updates are smooth and usually there are no breaking changes. And headless. Headless is the last letter here. So it means it's about decoupling of the front end from back end. Most often you will find like headless used with CMS or headless commerce, headless CMS, headless website, but actually it can be headless search. For example, Algolia calls themselves headless search provider because you can use e-commerce search capabilities provided by Algolia with any from like you can call that API using any code on your side. Yeah. So front-end presentation is decoupled from backend logic and channel. It's programming language and framework agnostic approach. So I highly recommend you to go to macalliance.org. So what is MACH Alliance? MACH Alliance is a consortium of, it's more than like 78 companies now that are advocating for this new approach. So some of them are actual software vendors, so providers of the products, and some of them are systems integrators. Those are who help in those product companies with actual deployments and installations of their offerings. And Grid Dynamics is one of such companies. We are proud member of MACH Alliance, and we play a role of a systems integrator. The function of, so MACH Alliance is a non-profit organization. It just unites the companies to educate people on these technologies, to actually tell apart real MACH products from fake ones, from those who are just wannabe MACH, but in reality they don't have like necessary underpinnings like microservices architecture or cloud nativeness or API first design approach behind. And yeah, so they do education and they build community around it. So there are lots of, they provide thought leadership. So highly recommended, macalliance.org. Here's a glimpse on the ecosystem of solutions in this world. Yeah. So the idea here is each company is focusing on doing on like covering some particular aspect of the business. For example, for e-commerce. So some companies are focusing on content management, others on search, others on promotion, and on digital commerce as well. Yeah. So the idea is when there's like such a narrow focus, you get very good functionality, and that's what we call best of breed approach. So you can combine the solution from multiple vendors who are so-called best of the breed. And final slides to kind of, if you are don't believe me yet that it's hot and it's like credible, all these technologies. Yeah. So some examples of big companies who have already adopted commerce tools as a commerce platform It's actually Commerce Tools is our key partner in this MACH. It's a founding member of MACH Alliance, and I will talk about the offering shortly. So probably you all know this company. So for those who don't know, just in case, AT&T is the biggest cellular provider in the United States. Lego is the famous brand who sells like toys and Lego bricks, yeah, and Audi. So they all have adopted Commerce Tools, and they are the customers, and they actually already started their journey with MACH technologies. And now let's move on to our business owner perspective, what used to be packaged business capabilities section. So what are those? Let's introduce the concept of PBC. PBC stands for packaged business capabilities. Those are the software components representing a well-defined business capability that is functionally recognizable as such by a business user. It can be built from like one microservice or a collection. Most often it's a collection of related microservices. So to better illustrate this, the next slide. So this slide represents so in Grid Dynamics, we've done this exercise of building the starter kit, and on the right, you can see the MACH vendors and solutions providers that we've selected for it. There's also color coding here. So each solution provider offers a certain set of capabilities. So we are building front end with Next.js and React, but underneath we have Commerce Tools at the core, and Commerce Tools provides us with product information management, cart checkout, and also discounts and offers like promotions management. So those 4 business capabilities are covered by Commerce Tools. In Algolia, so from Algolia, we're using their discovery, so search, navigation, and also a little bit of recommendations. Contentstack is the headless CMS system. Adyen is the payment service provider. Cloudinary helps us with data assets management and programmable media. That's their offering. And the Fluent Commerce is an order management system, distributed order management system that also is part of this like a MACH set of technologies. Yeah, so as a business owner, you would need all those capabilities and even more. So we don't have loyalty covered here yet, but so in this presentation, we will talk about the examples of these brands. So first, let's start with Commerce Tools. The one that lies in the core, it's e-commerce platform. And here's, you can see on this slide how many capabilities it provides us with. So from product catalog, customers, promotions, orders, and it allows us to maintain like multi-store model of our e-commerce, and it's also very extensible. There is like several ways you can customize and extend its capabilities. The next member of our family of MACH technologies is Algolia. So some of the notable features, yes, like searches you type, query suggestions, and actually Commerce Tools also provides search, but Algolia specializes on search. And nowadays, like no search solution is complete without the ability for merchandisers to be able to control the search results. And very important feature is here you can see rules boost categories. Yes, so ability to configure rules to boost certain products on top of search results, or for example, add some promo banner based on certain query. So it's pretty powerful and quite easy to implement. Next is Contentstack. And Contentstack is about content management. It provides like very flexible and also easy to use content management capability. It's an omnichannel ready solution by design, and it works fast. And they also partnering with Commerce Tools and Cloudinary. They have like a marketplace of extensions. So for certain scenarios that I will show you later, you can leverage the extension applications of Commerce Tools or Cloudinary in the context of Contentstack. content management platform. So, okay, we've got content management covered. Now to accept the payments, and there is Adyen for that. So Adyen, I would say probably arguably the market leader. So they actually, it's not only payment gateway, they take care about like risk management and processing. So all the way through to integration with card networks like Visa and MasterCards. And they took care of actually implementing support of almost any method you can use to pay online, like starting from credit cards to PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Klarna, and you name it. So in our case, in our experiments in Grid Labs, we've tried to set up the credit card payments, PayPal, and also we've created custom solution to support recurring payments. So with payments covered, to make sure everything looks good and works fast, Cloudinary helps us with their programmable media features. So first set of features is we are able to store one image, and from that one source image deliver different versions of the image as we need them in like multiple places of our for multiple experiences, maybe on different platforms. And speaking of different platforms, whether you browse on desktop or mobile, Cloudinary takes care of a proper image size and format to make sure you get the most optimal performance and good loading times. So we've tested it with Google Lighthouse. There's definitely like savings in terms of file sizes that they provide by just doing their transformation, and that improves the performance of the website. And finally, a few words about Fluent Commerce. Fluent Commerce is the technology that provides order management, inventory management, fulfillment, all those like deep backend capabilities that are necessary for the e-commerce business. So with that said, so once we selected those technologies, let's see how they actually work together and what we get in the real world. Yeah, so what's it all about? So the shopper perspective. We emulated a standard like business. We call it Volcano. This is a fictional B2C company that sells fitness goods and services. We have bicycles, we have fitness apparel, we have some sports nutrition in our catalog. Those are the physical products, as well as we offer services as personal trainings, and we offer club membership subscription. So we've selected this range of products to be able to model different product types and actually to showcase how this can be supported in commerce tools and this composable commerce world. Here's an example of the homepage. So homepage displays, it's driven by Contentstack as a content management system. It's modeled, it delivers banners that you see here. It's a custom responsive front end written in Next.js. And also you can see this featured products carousel here. It's delivered from Contentstack integrated with commerce tools. So actually Content Manager is able to select the specific products to be showed in this page. So this is like a curated carousel. Category navigation menu. So those categories are defined in commerce tools. So we say that this category navigation menu is powered by commerce tools. Next, we can navigate. So we need product listing page. Yeah. So in products listing page, de facto standard now, de facto standard now is like all should have like faceted navigation. So we have that faceted navigation, and this is implemented with the combination of Algolia, commerce tools, and Cloudinary. So commerce tools is actually maintaining the catalog. So that's where we are adding products, removing products. Yeah. But all those actions are generating events in the cloud, and those events are processed by Algolia. So Algolia updates their index, and then front end gets the data from Algolia, and that's how it's like in a nutshell how it happens. Yeah. And along the way, the media assets like images are hosted in Cloudinary and served by Cloudinary, and that's improves the performance. Also, that's an example of catalog discounts. So catalog discounts are configured in commerce tools. And as you can see, it's quite flexible. So you can configure relative or absolute discounts. And also on this example highlighted is that Cloudinary is not only serving us the images, but also is able to provide image and text overlays generated on the fly. So basically, we do not need to recreate that image with the ribbon for this banner. Instead, it's just generated by Cloudinary programmatically. Obviously, we have full text search. Initially, we've developed it with commerce tools, but then re-plugged Algolia for that. So it's one of the powers of the composable world, that you can just discard one solution if like there's a new better solution on the market. For example, just I think the day before yesterday, Algolia announced their neural search feature, which is like something very new and potentially very like impactful improvement over the ordinary search feature. So we haven't been able to integrate it yet, but we are working on that. But so the idea is that the technologies are evolving, and this composable commerce allows you to always be up to date and keep up with the technologies. Full text search with query suggestions on the left. An example, or interesting example of actually merchandising rules in action. You see that the customer typed oversized, and there's a merchandising rule that promotes all the, I don't know why, but just for the sake of the demo, we are promoting all the products with the color attribute white on top of the search results. So that's why, yeah, all the white items are on top. Another example is if you type some keyword, like in our case, protein, on top of the search results, Algolia sends us the banner that promotes certain products. Now, that's a good example of actually Cloudinary providing us with different versions of the same digital asset in different contexts. For example, here for this quick add to cart, hover over, we have this color picker, yeah, in a circular image by design. So we just have one source, and this circular image is delivered by Cloudinary transformation in our scenario. Obviously, we have products detailed page with the same help from Cloudinary to deliver a smaller color variance selection, and all the product information is coming from commerce tools here. And one of the recent additions to this product details page is ability to actually have location specific availability visible. So by hitting find a store, you see location specific availability, and that is powered by Fluent Commerce. So Fluent Commerce tracks the availability, the inventory in different stores in near real time. So you've seen before the catalog discounts, and here we have cart level discounts. So once you already in the cart experience, you added certain products. So there's multiple things you can do. Most common things, for example, here, if you buy certain product, in our case, it's like 8 trainings in bodybuilding, and you enter the promo code, you get a free item as a gift. Or another scenario, if you reach certain amount of dollars in your cart, you get like 10% off of the whole cart. This is configured and delivered from commerce tools. And the full checkout experience is shown in a bunch of mobile screenshots. We've integrated the Adyen component here. So Adyen is PCI DSS compliant. So we are safe with capturing the customer credit card information here, and that's a showcase of Adyen in action. Another showcase of Adyen is our scenario where we offer monthly subscription, so you can register for subscription, for example, VIP club membership, and every month there will be a recurring charge of $99, and it's also powered by Adyen. We're using their tokenization capabilities there. So another example. Yeah, so like maintaining of the customer's database. Yeah, so commerce tools keeps the information about the customer. This is editable. So from the customer profile page, you can update your delivery address that you can further use for your next checkouts. Yeah, order history and cancellation. So we are tracking the history of the orders, and there's ability to cancel the order, and that's how we are showcasing the integration with Fluent Commerce order management that maintains the state of the order. So now after we explored like the facade of it, the shopper perspective, let's look at the merchant perspective. So what's behind the scenes? Yeah. So Commerce Tools offers their UI. So although all of them are API first, but still for the business users, they offer some basic UI that are also extensible. You can build your own using their APIs, but it's nice thing to have, especially when you're just getting started, right? So Commerce Tools has Merchant Center dashboard, and on the left, take a note, you can see, you can kind of get an idea of what capabilities it provides. So you see the products, categories, customers, orders, discounts, all those things that I just showed you. So they can be easily configured in Commerce Tools and published and almost instantly become available on the website. Contentstack, same about like content intensive pages like banners, content management. So you model content there. It supports workflows, so no critical changes will go in production without approval. So it all can be set in Contentstack CMS dashboard. Also, what I mentioned before, the integration of Contentstack with Commerce Tools. Here's how it looks like. So basically, once you need to deliver that featured products carousel, you get this extension and you can select. So in the context of Commerce Tools experience, you tap into the Commerce Tools products database, you can see the images, you can search, and you can pick certain products to be displayed on the page. And same with Cloudinary, but it's about images or videos. So also same story. It's an integration of Contentstack with Cloudinary. Algolia search management application. On this specific screenshot, we are seeing how rules configuration interface is looking. So you see that boosting rules. Yeah, also there's there where you can like see the index. That's Algolia search management application. And that's where you are supposed to enable neural search if you have like the proper plan with Algolia. Adyen customer area. So that's very powerful also, like a unified place where you can monitor all your transaction, all the money coming in, all the like refunds and sales that you're doing, being it through the website or through like a physical store or whatever. Cloudinary console. So Cloudinary is all about like here, like images and sizes, and that's, you can see how effectively it's working. So media library transformations, and the specific screenshots shows the report section. And yeah, also they have good addition to Chrome. It's called Cloudinary Media Inspector that also helps with performance tuning of the website, provides all the necessary information for that. And last but not least, Fluent Commerce web console. On the left, again, you can get an idea. So what is it about? It's order management, product availability, global inventory, stores fulfillment, orchestration, interesting stuff, but too deep, I would say, for the scope of this presentation. So, and finally, I think it's our last section for today is developer perspective. So first, what I want to mention here is MACH vendors offer trainings and education programs. Yeah, so there's these are new technologies. There's definitely something to learn, and they really care about that. So they have like the whole departments. I think I heard somewhere that Commerce Tools has invested so like a couple of millions of dollars in this only Commerce Tools, yeah, for their like training and certification. So they have actually even instructor-led trainings. So when we started this all, we were talking with the guy from Chicago who was giving us like a week of intensive Commerce Tools training. API first SaaS products are well documented for the most part. So, and it's really true, they care about nice documentation, and it's API first. So you can basically get all the information about the functionality through their documentation. And yeah, so this is a slide to give you an idea what are the relevant technologies from like developer perspective here. And actually, I would encourage you to learn more. So if you are interested, either if you are not part of Grid Dynamics and considering to join, definitely. So that would be interesting. If you are in Grid Dynamics, yeah, you can reach out to our CTO office. So where we have this practice where we are developing. The Composable Commerce Starter Kit. So with having said that, yeah, I think it's time for the questions and answers. I'm ready for your questions, please.
Thank you, Andriy. I think that we can start with questions from chat. I can read them for you. So the first one, Andriy, I understand that we can hide all those building blocks from customer behind the single front end. What about back office? Most of those components would require some UI for tuning all the aspects of running business. Does it mean that the merchandisers would have to be familiar with all those systems? Is there any options to have some kind of integrated single UI back office system?
Yeah, very good question. Very good to the point. I think so. This is something that is supposed to be customizable. So I'm not aware of any like specific solution on the market that actually works like to unite all those experience for like coherent experience from the merchant perspective. And maybe there's an opportunity in it, and we in Grid Dynamics are actually pursuing it. So we are starting small, but we are on the way there. So thanks for asking. Yeah.
Thank you, Andriy. The next question was for 43rd, 44th slide. This example demonstrates retail B2C business. Is there a solution for supplier, including onboarding new users, assigning those to sales assistants, etc.? It was about 44 slides, so you can just return and understand what is about this one.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, this example demonstrates retail B2C business. Is there a solution for suppliers, including onboarding new users, assigning those to sales assistants, etc.? Also, Vlas, you can raise your hand, you can explain.
Yes, Andrea, I can comment on that. The example that you're giving here in this presentation is about kind of a fraction of the business. It's a B2C fraction of the business. So my question is related to the other fraction of the business where suppliers are involved. Is there a solution or multiple solutions for that piece of business?
Okay, so I wouldn't, first of all, I wouldn't relate this to this slide. So I think your question is about B2C.
No, it's not about this slide in particular. It's in general, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, because this slide just about some media asset. Okay, so good question also, yeah. So B2B is overall as an industry, it's a little bit kind of going like 5 years behind probably. So basically B2C segment is evolving faster because it's like more, there's more money in it, yeah. So basically companies are making millions of dollars in B2C, and B2B. So there's trend going on, and for commerce tools, for example, B2B is currently a priority. So they are working like each quarter to build more and more B2B related features like quotes, and definitely there's a trend that like B2B, like buyers, they behave basically same as a private customer. So whether they just buying pens for themselves, or they buying like 10,000 shirts branded for their company, or so B2B is also, there are different versions of B2B. It's like a matter of separate conversations. So B2B can be like, I'm buying 5,000 branded t-shirts for Grid Dynamics from someone, or if I'm buying like some certain equipment for the manufacturing, it's a different kind of B2B, right? But the idea is, yeah, so B2C approaches are applicable in B2B world, and specific functionalities are on the way. So those vendors are pursuing those opportunities, and we are also in Grid Dynamics, we are considering, so we're just kind of looking the ways to properly enter this space. And yeah, so this is an interesting space. And
thank you, Andriy. We have this sign from last. Yeah, so, and the next question is from Eugene. How can we avoid vendor lock on cloud provider? if we implement the composable architecture using, for example, AWS, Lambda functions, and Amazon managed services, it will be hard to migrate these applications into GCP or Azure.
Okay, so I'm not actually, so if Eugene, you can come up with specific examples when actually companies are doing so. I think the cloud selection is like carefully considered when the companies are making this move. So I know that the companies were like politically, for example, in e-commerce, often they don't like Amazon just because it's a competition. Yeah, so they offer Google Cloud, they select Google Cloud, but I think it's already there are like 3 major cloud providers, and many peoples are like accepted this reality and just use them. And vendor lock is kind of maybe a certain risk, but maybe it's neglectable. So like I'm not sure that there should be an issue. So those clouds are pretty robust, and like whether it's Google or Amazon or Microsoft. So
hello, I can bring an example. We have 2 projects in Grid Dynamics that are done using AWS Lambda functions. And for example, the reason could be the big prices for the hosting, huge, who knows. So this is just one example.
Okay, so I mean for the individual business, okay, so vendor lock, yeah. So I think the customer is paying. So for example, in our scenario, the screenshots that I showed you, yeah, so we are using AWS there, and we are running like Lambda function. There's things like Event Bridge. So there's not much like of payload, like I don't think it's gonna be a very big problem to actually migrate from one cloud to another, as well as, like I said, change like one vendor to another, like say change Algolia to Constructor.io, or say our like some other like search vendor. Yeah, same. Maybe it will be like not that easy, but still it's pretty possible to switch the cloud. So we considering to offer another version of the starter kit. For now we are based on AWS, but GCP is coming as well as Azure. So that's in our roadmap. Yes, so that would be my answer. So migration is possible as long as like the costs and benefits are weighted and calculated. So if the business considers that, okay, it's better to migrate now and the cost savings would justify that migration, so why not?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andrei. Do someone have questions? You can use your microphone or also the chat. Okay, I believe that's all questions. Also, we with Andrei want to add that we will have a recording of this meetup and we'll post it on our YouTube. And if you have questions after, you can just write them in comments of our video. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Andrei, for your speech. Thank you, everyone, for joining this evening, and have a nice day.